Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and try to isolate an element of the race that we think might be the path to finding the winner. The first race we're going to take a look at on Sunday is the first dirt race of the season, race 1, and our winning factor here, the draw. Now, just a smallish field here and not many with a lot of form either, but it is a race that gives the people what they want. Joao Moreira back in town and eyeballing Zac Purton as they pilot the two favourites in the race, California Veins and Telecom Missile, while Harry Bentley's Mount Luckstar is probably the other winning possibility. But I think that the most attention will be on the mounts of Zac Purton on the top weight California Veins and Telecom Missile, with Joao Moreira aboard for, I guess, one of the trainers who's been one of his best providers in recent years, Casper Founds. They look the two favourites, so let's take a look at their most recent offerings. And back to last season, race 811, this is from July, and from gate 10, Zac Purton has to use up California Veins here in the yellow and red colours to get across, and his rivals didn't give him the lead easily, as we see on the heat map. He had to do a bit of work to get there, then Purton tried to give him a bit of a breather once in front, but I think the damage had been done. When they turn for home and push comes to shove in the final 200 metres, California Veins tried his best, but just didn't have the petrol in the tank to repel the challenges and holds on for an honest fourth. Now, Telecom Missile's form reads very similarly. A win 2 starts ago, followed by a fourth last time. So let's take a look at his most recent run last season, when a slow start certainly didn't help him. And this is race 808. He's in black colours with a red cap from gate 9, and we see Telecom Missile messes up the start, and he's last when they hit the ground. And as the race progresses, he's still second last at the halfway mark. Now, not spending his energy early was no disadvantage in some ways, as the heat map shows the leaders here, including a rival on Sunday, Colourful Prince, are burning each other up. And the eventual winner, Moiraki, is in blue and yellow colours in midfield, just a couple of lengths ahead of Telecom Missile into the straight. As the early pressure tells, the leaders fold up, the trailing horses get the best of them, and there's Telecom Missile running on to finish just behind the placings. And if he was to give away a similar sort of a start on Sunday, then we might see him suffer a similar fate and similar finishing position. However, when we take a look at the draw on our map, this time Telecom Missile has gate 1. And I think from that draw, providing Moreira gets him out of the gate smartly, he should get an ideal spot trailing the leaders this time, saving his energy for the finish. While Colourful Prince, we saw there, has the pace to make California Veins work hard up front from the outside draw. So the tip in race 1, Telecom Missile. His winning factor, the draw. Yes, the boys are back in town again now. Purton and Moreira face off on the two favourites here, but I think that inside draw might be just enough to give Moreira the tactical edge. The other race I want to take a look at on Sunday at Sha Tin is race 2, where our winning factor is the map. Now, this is a typically open Class 5 race here. They rarely feature standouts, and I'm sure the market will give chances to Purton's mount, Win-Win 33, Zacian with a fitness edge after his excellent run last week on opening day. Booming well from the Dennis Yip yard, hasn't had much luck in his Class 5 runs, and there are others dropping down to Class 5 here, including Apex Top and Aurora Hero, having his first run for Casper Founds. And I'm sure there will be even fans for horses like Lotus Favourites and Towards Success. But the two I want to pay most attention to here are Zacian and Apex Top. Now we're going to go back to opening day and have a look at the run by Zacian. And this has to make him one of the favourites here, although he's a 24 start maiden. He's in dark blue colours at gate 6, jumps well, but he doesn't really have the pace to maintain a forward position here over the 1200 metres, and Vincent Ho lets him drift behind midfield so he can get him in and get more relaxed. Now, the heat map shows that wasn't ideal positioning in a race dominated by the leader, with just a sharp sprint down the final 400 metres. But Zacian, he's slightly held up for a few strides, then applies himself well when he's clear to finish strongly and isn't beaten far in an excellent performance. The other horse I'm looking closely at here is Apex Top. Now, he hasn't run since May, but he has had a couple of barrier trials, and I think that the booking by Tony Millard, his trainer, of Sylvester de Sousa is quite a significant one. I was asked recently on Twitter who I thought de Sousa, a three-time British champion, would do most of his riding for here in Hong Kong, and I guess the reality is that he'll get a wide spread of stables, but when we look at his past records in Hong Kong, de Sousa has ridden quite a bit for Tony Millard. And in fact, Millard has given him more rides and more winners than any other yard. Now, yes, there are stables you can see on this table where de Sousa has a better strike rate and even better profitability on the right-hand side, but from much smaller ride samples than the Millard yard, who has been very strong on de Sousa. So I think the fact he's booked here is significant. I think the fact that de Sousa has ridden the horse in his two nice trials has also been significant, and he's certainly got the form coming back down to Class 5. The last time we saw him run in Class 5 was last season, and we're going to take a look at that run now. This is going back to March, also 1400 metres like this Sunday, and Lyle Hewitson aboard here in yellow and black colours, and Apex Top jumps straight into the first few runners in a slowly run first half, where we'll also see Zacian running. Watch him around the 600 metres. He gets knocked out of the race in a scrimmage. Apex Top, though, is up the front, out of the trouble and in the right place for a fight down the home straight. But he raced too wide through the race, and the horse who led on the fence inside him, I guess it's just enough ground saved, and he clings on to beat him. But I made the map the factor in this race for a reason, and Apex Top's ability to take a forward position is going to be critical. Let's take a look at the map for this race. Remember the other horses I mentioned as winning chances: Booming Well, Win-Win 33, Aurora Hero, Zacian, Lotus Favourites and Towards Success? Well, look at them and how they position on our map compared to Apex Top. Most of them like to run on in their races, while the only horse with a recent run, Zacian, he may be able to hold more of a forward position stepping up in distance this week, but he still does have a little bit of work to do from the wider draw if he's going to get there. Meanwhile, de Sousa on Apex Top should bounce out, find himself straight behind the likely leader Fortune Marbo and getting the perfect run into the home straight. So the tip in race 2, Apex Top. His winning factor, the map. Now, this is a tough race. He's certainly no good thing, and he hasn't been a prolific winner himself with one win from 17. However, he comes back in distance. He has that critical ability to take up a forward position, and backing up our confidence there, we have the great record with Tony Millard and Sylvester de Sousa in the past. Well, that's it from the winning factor this week. Enjoy your racing Sunday. We'll see you next time.